Yeah, I didn't tell anybody about my daughter for the longest time because I felt not only guilty for having screwed over my girlfriend at the time by having relations with another woman, but also the fact that, I felt, kind of embarrassed by it, I mean, I wasn't married or anything like that, and it was just one of those impulsive one night kind of deals, and it was just terrible, but eventually I came around, but for like the longest time, I didn't tell a soul. People would ask me, "Oh, you don't have kids or anything like that, Tim?" And I go, "No, no, never had kids, no." And they go, "Really? Uh, you seem like you'd have kids." I go, "Nope." I kept on saying, "No, I do not have any kids. Leave me alone. Change the subject." So, I mean, there were a few people, friends of mine, that knew, but a surprising number I didn't tell. Even people that were close to me. I mean, Greg was my best friend at the time. He knew about it. I would tell a few people. My sister knew about it. My dad didn't know about it. My mom did, and my brother did. But yeah, and I only got back into her life probably about 4 years ago. Actually, into her life for the first time. I never really was. I stayed away, and I regret that. That was not a very good thing to do. I just wasn't ready for fatherhood or anything like that, or to even accept responsibility for a child, and that's part of my foolishness in a lot of respects. My immaturity in that respect is that I wasn't able to provide anything for her. I mean, I was paying child support, because the mother took me to court, Kim took me to court. I don't blame her, and I was even moaning and wailing about that. And when we went to family court, it was a low settlement that she received because I was broke at the time, but I probably could have afforded better, and I regret fighting that, and I'm trying to make up for it now, and I think I am in a lot of ways. I've taken my daughter to places. I've taken her to Washington, D.C., amusement parks, Toronto, anywhere she wants to go. I've taken her, and I've tried to get back into her life, but for a long time, she was a hidden secret to a lot of people. They had no idea. They were shocked as hell to find out that I had a daughter, which was odd for them, which was odd. They thought was odd. They said, "Tim, you're a father now? Wow, where did that come from?" I was like, "Yeah, well, I've learned to accept it, and I'm actually quite happy with it now. I really am." And I know I never mentioned it on the when I was doing the Greg Sterling show in this same room here back in she was born in '96, and I was doing it then. I was doing the show then, but I never mentioned her. Never mentioned the child, and I didn't want to know about it, to tell you the truth. I really didn't. I was too frightened to find out anything about her. And then after my relationship with Jana broke up, my ex-girlfriend who I lived with for 13 years, I said, now's the time. There's no time like right now to get back, to try to get in her life. And to her benefit, to her credit, Catherine's mom, was very nice about it and very willing to let me get back in her life, or to let me get into her life to begin with, and I was very appreciative of that. I couldn't ask for a better scenario. And my dad just adores her, just loves her, and she's a good kid. And yeah, that worked out really, really good. I'm very grateful for that. And it didn't seem like it was one of those things that was going to work out, but it did. The first time I ever saw her, she was doing a play called The Lonely Lego. It was a play that these kids fashioned themselves. They wrote it and did all the costumes and everything like that. And I mean, the play was, it doesn't make any sense, it's kid stuff, and she was there, and she saw me sitting with her mom, and she's like looking, has this look in her eyes, like she's like, who is that? I mean, she's a very perceptive child. She really is. And she just shot me this look like, who is that? But she didn't. She never made it difficult after that for me to get involved in her life. She never gave me any grief for not being there when she was younger. I mean, there was this one time I could kill myself that when I found out that when she was 4, she broke her arm falling off a jungle gym, and I got a picture of her, with a little cast, smiling. She's still smiling through her pain and everything like that, and I could kick myself for not being there in retrospect, but what's done is done. But yeah, she's been very forgiving. I mean, she doesn't have any animosity towards me at all, which I'm grateful for. I mean, it could have been ugly, but I think with kids that age, they're not that. If it was later, there might have been problems. If it was like now or maybe when she's in her teens, yeah, there might have been problems. But fortunately, it was when she was still sick. So, I'm grateful for that.